We are live! Oh, hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to just make sure that it starts streaming through to YouTube, and then I'll probably have to mute it. Okay. So, oh, there we go. Yep, it's on. We are streaming live on YouTube. Lad. Helen, hi, hello. My darling.
I've gone all silly.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good because it's a nice day, and yeah, just happy.
I've turned the volume down on my earphones, I think, so now I can't hear you. Give me a second. Oh. I do apologise.
Shall I shout?
Let me close that. Got to. There we go.
Good?
Yes. Helen.
I'm not yelling in your ear.
You're coming in here, good girl. Helen Hawley, how are you, my love?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you, love. Are you?
Yeah, and I'm right proud of you for agreeing to do this.
That's all right.
Because I know it's completely out of your comfort zone.
It is.
I know that your creative outlet is the fabulous art that you do. So yeah, I'm grateful for you kind of coming on today.
It's funny, isn't it? Because once you've done it once, you know, you get a little bit more confident and what have you. It's that initial, oh gosh, no, I'm not doing that, and everyone will see me. But yeah.
Yeah. So you know that the kind of normal format of these Skype stories is to chat about somebody's vegan story first. If you don't mind that, Helen, we'll just kind of have a bit of a chat about when it started for you and why.
Yeah. I think I say this, it sounds ridiculous, but I think I was just born vegetarian. No one else in my family was. We lived in Hyde. It's not a million miles from you, is it? And I just never liked the taste of meat, ever. And I think I made the connection early. But one thing that sticks in my head, every year we used to go to either Scarborough or Llandudno for our holidays, year in, year out, without fail. Me, my sister, my mum and my dad. And we'd gone there. I think I must have only been 6 or 7, maybe something like that. My sister's just a year older than me. And we'd gone into this hotel, but we had to go somewhere else for our dinner, a different hotel for our dinner. And so my mum and dad ordered for us, and I got this piece of gammon on my plate with a pineapple ring on and all this butter, and it was just something about the colour of it, the butter, and it just turned my stomach. And my mum saying, "Eat it, Ellen, come on, everybody's watching. Will you eat it? Just have a little bit." And I got iller and iller, I got hotter and hotter, and no, I just couldn't. And then time must have gone on, and after that they just never forced me. So at Sunday I'd just have potatoes, veg and a bit of gravy. That was it. Just always been that way. And then my son went to uni. He went to Portsmouth Uni, and he said, "Mum, I've gone vegan." He'd never been vegetarian or anything. I don't know whether it was a fad going around uni at the time or what. And he used to get the mail through to our house when he was at Portsmouth, and he'd get lots of PETA stuff. And the images on there, experimenting on animals and cosmetics and things. And some of the images I saw, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm going vegan as well. So I'm in my 7th year. So it was just me and Ed. My daughter's not vegan, and my husband, it's been a year or so, but we kept on at him subtly, but it must have made a difference. It was like, even
always does at the end. Yeah, so it sounds like we've been kind of, we're in our 7th year as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, probably.
It's about that. I'm rubbish with dates, but it's about that. It's when Ed went to uni, and he's 26 now, so yeah.
And how did you, I suppose it wasn't too hard for you at first then, because you were already,
Yeah,
mind you, I say that, I was veggie to vegan, and I still found the first few months tough.
I didn't really, and I don't know why. I just think we were used to buying like long life milk and things like that. So I just bought, Asda was near us then. We've moved since then. But I just used to buy the long life soya milk. And, you know, I could get grated cheese. It wasn't great. But I just thought, if it's tough, I'll do without it. I mean, I did eat a lot of cheese, but just because Darren, my husband, liked it. And you know, I didn't think, oh, I can't live without cheese. I just made do, and I didn't really, hand on heart, found it that difficult.
No.
And even now, I don't like anything that looks like meat. I had a pie the other day, and I just ate the pastry. I couldn't eat it. It was too lifelike.
Right.
Yeah. So
see, now I love that, me.
yeah.
Anything that
Really?
looks and tastes like the produce I used to eat many years
I
ago,
mean,
but is completely vegan.
Yeah.
I'm all up in it.
Even jackfruit in a pie, that looks meat-like, doesn't it? If you put
Yeah. Jackfruit is very meat-like though, isn't it? If it's prepared the right way, it's pulled pork.
Yeah.
Like.
And I never ate a lot of eggs. I used to eat an omelette or a quiche, but I can do that. When they started doing it recently, I just went without, Paul. I'm not a great cook, and I don't really like cooking. I can follow a recipe, and I think because I worked full time, I found it a chore to come home and have to cook for everyone, and I didn't like it. You know, I just didn't want to do it. So I just made things as easy as possible, really.
Yeah.
Whether that's lazy or not, I don't know. My passion isn't cooking. I mean, I can cook, but I didn't want to be at work and think, right, I've got to bloody cook for everyone else now. I didn't want to do it, you know.
Yeah.
So I just did easy stuff.
So have you always done art? Always, like?
No, I haven't. I didn't even take it at school as an option.
Wow.
I took Latin. And I remember trying to stop doing Latin, and I asked, could I do art? And they wouldn't let me. So I stuck with Latin. That got me a long way. But yes, I didn't. And I just sort of picked it up a few years ago. I've always liked it. And when I was little, my mum was a dinner lady at the school that I went to. And I remember at school fetes and stuff, she used to make bookmarks with pressed flowers and things like that, and melon seed necklaces. She'd dry them out. But my sister did art, and she was really good. And then she did art O-level. I just think we're a family that can do it. I'm not saying we're brilliant, but we're just that way. Not that anyone's ever done anything with it. And my son and my daughter did art. They've never done anything with it.
So when did your art, I suppose your art took on a vegan theme when you became vegan then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, when I lived at the other house, there was this bloke I joined, you know, like it was a Green Hive Residents Association on Facebook. And I found this baker and I asked him, could he do me some vegan cakes? And he said, well, if you'll draw my dog. And it was just watercolor. So we used to do that. I'd paint something for him and he'd give me some vegan cupcakes or something. And then I just started sharing my pictures of what I'd drawn, what I'd painted, and people had asked me to do stuff. So that's how it got going.
I'm going to, I believe that, yes, it's working. I'm actually on your page at the moment.
Oh, you are?
On Facebook. And we're just going to have a look at some of your art, Helen. And if you can, like, talk us through. This is beautiful.
I've just done that for my daughter. One of her cats, little Simba, yeah. It was a picture she'd sent me ages ago, just not for me to draw it. She didn't know. I thought it would be a nice surprise for her. So, yeah, I did that.
Beautiful. And this is a kind of speciality of yours, isn't it, as well? Pet portraits.
Yeah, yeah. And I just never do anything with the background. Well, that one I have, but it's just a dark background. I don't know. I just normally focus on the animal or...
Yes.
Yeah, like that one, yeah.
Move.
I just realised that now. It's got a wonky eye.
And most of these we can actually buy from you as prints, can't we?
You could if you wanted to, yeah. I've got a printer. Last year, Karen got me a printer because I had no way of doing it. I used to send, you know, to an outside printers, but it all costs. So I thought I'd invest in my own printer.
There we go. I'm just looking through them.
On there.
Yeah, because it gives people a nice kind of look at the kind of work you can do.
This is digital art now, but I used to love I still do sketching and watercolors. Yeah, that was a commission for someone.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
I remember seeing the original. I think the owner shared the original and your art.
Yes, he asked me on one of I'd put a picture on your group and he messaged me. Yeah. Which was lovely. That
is perfect for our witness campaign. Why is there milk in everything?
Blooming everything.
And so tell us about this here character.
I was just going to say I need to do some more of her. It's just based on my little daughter, Annie, when she was little. She doesn't wear glasses, but she was always in dungarees and dresses looked ridiculous on her. They still do, actually. And I don't know, I just made this little character, and I used to do it with a little cat all the time, or have little singing notes coming out. She was always just going around singing, but yeah, I need to do some more with her because, yeah, she's cute.
Classic.
I have so many ideas in my head. I have to make notes on my phone of what I can do, or Darren will come home and he's go, oh, I've got a new idea. You could draw this, this, and this, and yeah.
Oh, are these your little stickers?
No, they're
posters.
That's a site called Redbubble, but I'm going to close my shop on there. I think you'd never get noticed on there. There's thousands and thousands. And if, for example, somebody bought a set of those coasters, I would get a very, very small percentage of it.
Right.
And I'm always, it sounds awful, but I think the longer my stuff's up there, anyone could steal those designs, couldn't they? So I'm just going to close that.
Right, I'll bring us both back into the fore. There we go. Bring us back into the. There we go. Lovely. So yeah, that kind of gave people. I've got a suggestion for you, actually. Why don't you start a Teespring account?
Yeah, I did think about it, and then I just thought, well, I'll just have one focus. I'm going to try and get this Etsy shop up and running. I'm going to try and run it tomorrow. Because the beauty of that is, if I go to France for any amount of time, if I'm just selling things that people can print at home, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go and get an envelope and post it. And it can be running in the background. That's my hope.
Yeah.
Whether it works or not. And then I did think about T-shirts, because so many people have said, oh, I'd have that if it was on a T-shirt. But would they really? And I don't know.
Here's the thing about Teespring, Helen. It's been a lifesaver for us because, as you know, we did originally have our merch with vegan original. And then they took a different spin, and they weren't doing any merch for anybody anymore.
Right.
So Teespring was a lifeline, and it is really easy.
Yeah.
You open an account, upload your stuff,
Yeah.
stick it where you want on a t-shirt, and leave it. That's it. It's done.
So do you have to create your own shop then, or is it like on a commission thing?
It's you create your own shop through them with all your stuff. You set your own prices, so you work out how much profit you get.
Yeah.
It's you know, and us creators, whether we be on YouTube or the visual arts, we have to make money.
Exactly.
We all have to make money.
Yeah.
People forget sometimes, don't they, though? Especially with YouTube, I find it's like we vlog almost 7 days a week. Virtually, and it takes a lot of work, and there's no expectation for that. But then when people say things like, oh God, I can't believe how gross you've got an Amazon wish list, and I'm like, really, that's gross, is it? Putting all this work into something and having a wish list is gross in some way. People are strange. So what are people saying? If anybody has any questions, by the way, directly for Helen, if you could start your comment with a couple of question marks, and I'll put the question on screen. Do we get any exclusives here, Helen? Like any news about any future escapades of Melody, who is your bespectacled character?
Paul, I'd love to do something with that. I really would. And I might start making some little thumbnail sketches or something. Yeah. Because, you could do a lot with that, couldn't you?
She's a great character. And she's down to earth and relatable. And
she's got a little rainbow on her little dungarees there. She's got a little LGBTQ on her. Little pride flag on there.
So a couple of people here are saying, you know, the vegan blogger there says t-shirt idea is a good one. Love the designs. I think it's, I mean, absolutely work on your Etsy, because I know that a lot of people do great on Etsy, but Teespring is something that you wouldn't lose anything.
Yeah, there's no harm in having it there, is there?
Exactly. It's something, isn't it?
Yeah, I might really consider that.
Lovely jubbly. So tell us about any of your future plans. So we've got the Etsy shop. We might be getting some merch through spring. Have you got?
If anybody wants anything drawing, anything at all, you know, if they can send me the picture or what they want drawing, I'm more than happy to do that. More than happy. I love it.
For a fee, of course. Let's make that clear. No, you've got to make that clear, Helen. Otherwise, you'll get loads of messages saying, well, you said you'd do me something. Draw me this.
For a prize. But I love it. I like my own company. I'm happier when I'm on my own. Yeah. Not that I'm odd or anything. Well, I might be a bit, but yeah.
Bev's just jumping in there. She can't stay as she's working, but she wanted to pop in with a thumbs up and hello.
Hello, Bev.
Nice to see you, Bev.
Now, she's a good cook.
She's too good a cook, actually. She puts us to shame sometimes. I'm like, oh, I'm there having, like, you know, chips and sausages, and she's there with her.
I want to do more with aubergine or marrow. I don't use enough veg, I don't think.
It's always good, isn't it, to have at least, it's like that roasted vegetable wrap recipe we put up the other night. That's a really good way to get 5 different veg into you, but it still feels really indulgent because of the chili sauce. And that's the trick I found. we have either veg or salad almost every single night.
Right.
And if I'm doing, I think it was on last night's vlog, we had those squeaky bean Chinese style spare rib things. And I did rice and I did spinach to it.
Lovely.
And then I did a kind of medley mix of carrot and peppers and edamame and some sesame seeds to kind of orientize it all. But that was a good pile of veg on the plate. I've done marrow once, and I've
only done it once, and I wasn't.
Did you oversalt it? I think I oversalted it. And it
when you use aubergine, do you peel it or do you keep the skin on it?
I don't think you have to peel it, do you?
You don't, do you? But that's preference, isn't it? I need to use more though. Yeah.
That's a veg I don't use a lot, if at all, aubergine, and it's because it's the same reason that I don't use marrows a lot, because I haven't got my head around them yet. And all this rub with salt and then soak and stuff. Every time I've done that, they've just ended up really, really salty. So I'm like, am I doing this right? Oh, we've got a question. We've got a question from the lovely Vanessa, who says, "Hi Helen, what media do you like working with most? Watercolors, pastels, etc."
I like to sketch. I've got a pencil, it's blue at one end and red at the other. So I sketch in one colour, say a red, and then I'll go over it with blue and maybe add watercolour. But once my watercolour's dry, I like to then add coloured pencils over the top. So it's different mediums. But when other people, the art I like to look at ink and maybe one or two colours. So ink pen, you know, things like that. Yeah. But digital art is what I do, but I like traditional art. I love watercolour and pencils. Yeah, like to mix them both.
That was a great question, Vanessa.
It was very good.
You. So tell us, anybody that's in the chat here, do any of you own any art from Helen? In fact, if you give me 1 second, just give me 1 second. I'm actually I'm quite shocking with art. I don't know if you saw not so long ago, I actually bought a painting from a friend in America called she called it Flowers for Paul. Bless her. It took me 3 years to hang it on the wall.
Shit, you said.
I've got this fabulous pack here from Helen, and me and Jason have been talking about putting all of these in one frame together. And I'm not sure whether we're going to do that, but...
Oh, standing on a red.
I'll show you these, because they're all fabulous.
That one there is slightly off, because the writing's not centered, but that was trial and error. Cute. I said, I try and make art that I would like, and because if you're making art to please everyone else, it's pointless, because you never would you? So I just like to draw what I like to look at, and then I thought, should I be more, more with a vegan message? But then I thought, you've got to be careful there, because nobody's going to put that on the wall, are they? Nobody's going to put an animal with its throat cut hanging on the wall. Or do you know what I mean? If anything's too graphic, it's not.
I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
But, I think once your art starts to get out there and you start to get known more as a vegan artist, I think the audience for that kind of stuff would probably go up.
Yeah, because it's quite niche at the moment, isn't it? And
yeah,
there's loads of it. Friends, not food, and there's loads of things like that out there. If you search on Pinterest or anywhere, there's loads of stuff that's very much the same. So I'm trying to, you know, put my own spin on it, make it more unique, which I think it is. I think.
I was going to say, I think you've already done that very much. It's when I see a piece of your art now, I immediately recognise it as Helen.
Yeah, I wondered if I have a style or.
Yeah, no, I definitely see your art and recognise it straight away. And I, like I said before, Helen, I think you're, even though, you know, at some point you may get more aggressive with the messaging for a particular part of your audience, I think that you've got the nail on the head with the way you message now. You know, oh, we've got another question. I do like it when people ask questions. Stacey says, how do you find creating digital art versus traditional? I'd like to have a go at digital, but don't know where to start.
Well, you don't. I use my iPad and a program called Procreate for digital art. Let me just show you. But you don't have to. You can use any drawing tablet. So can you see? This is my this is my Pro. Yeah. So everything you create gets stored in there. Or you could buy a drawing tablet, but you'd need a pen. I've got an Apple Pencil that it will only work with this Procreate. So you draw with this. But what I will say is, it's really odd at first to draw with that pencil, you know, on a sheet of glass, basically, your iPad. It takes some getting used to. I prefer traditional art, but that iPad's a game changer. That Procreate is, I think it's one payment of $9.99. That's it, which is really cheap, and that lasts you forever. So that's something to think about. But you just need an iPad and the Apple Pencil, and then you can get Procreate. It's fabulous, but you work in layers. It's quite tricky, but it takes a while to master it, but it's good. But sketchbook and pencil trumps it any day, I think.
I've just shared Helen's Facebook page link there in the chat because the HHArtDesign page, that is, so that you can like and switch on notifications so that when she creates something new and it's available, you can have a look.
Thank you.
Is that the best place, really, Helen, to see there or Instagram?
Yeah, that's all I have. I don't have a shop yet or anything, but I will have. Determined. It's just dead hard, Paul. I don't understand all the file size types and JPEGs and PDFs and you name it. I wasn't geared up that way. I was born too soon.
Well, you know, if anything's confusing you, it's digitally. I'm quite adept.
Oh yeah.
And in particular with images and PDFs and stuff like that. So if you ever need any advice, just give us a shout.
Brilliant, thank you.
We are indeed connected on Facebook. So yeah, it's that's my kind of
from YouTube videos. You know, I'm forever watching and making notes and stuff. It's a good way to learn stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I wish YouTube was used more for that because it's a gold mine, really.
Is that how you learn? Because you would have had to learn loads for, you know, setting up your channel and all sorts of techie stuff. Is that your interest, or did you just watch loads of videos and learn?
I just watched when we made our mind up that we were going to start putting a lot more effort into the channel and actually try and make something of it. I watched loads of people, mainly Brian G. Johnson and TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is a channel on YouTube, and it's also a software program that you can download into your browser for when you're working in your back engine in YouTube. Makes it much easier.
Cool.
But one of the biggest helps for me actually was Gorgy Man, Simon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he spent a couple of hours with me on the computer. We did a kind of, you know, I shared my desktop with him, and he shared his back engine with me, and he just showed me everything.
Because you can watch and watch and watch, but until you come to do it, like it all leaves your head, doesn't it? Yeah. The more you do it, the better you get offs.
Has that link actually worked? Can anybody tell me? Let me just have a check and make sure that's worked, Helen. It has. Yes, and it's clickable. I just wanted to make sure it was clickable. And Helen's Facebook page, HHArtDesign, is also the first link in the description of this video on YouTube. So get her followed. Don't be rude. She does right good art. She sells it. Buy some for your mum or your Auntie Doris.
Do you know, Paul, do you ever get that blooming imposter syndrome? Do you, when you think, I'm actually quite rubbish, or, oh my gosh, they're way better? Do you feel like that sometimes? Like with other YouTubers?
Never. Yeah. I used to.
Oh, it's horrible.
I used to. And then, I'm going to be really honest with you, I took a step back from all other vegan YouTubers, all of them. And I only started watching again the people who never made me feel uncomfortable, and they're way bigger YouTubers than we are. Yeah. But no, I'm very proud of how real we are as people on YouTube, because I think that there's a lot of really contrived bullshit. There's a lot of stoked drama that doesn't need to be there. And there's a lot of focus on that negative stuff.
I used to watch loads. I started off, I found your channel, and that led me on to a couple of others. At first you're like, oh yeah, and I'll have that, and I'll have that, and I'll subscribe to that. And after a while, you start to dwindle off. Well, I did, and I watch very few now. I really do. It's either all samey or all.
I think a very common thing on YouTube is that you come across these people you like. This is what happened with us anyway. You come across these people you like, and you start watching them, and then you start doing stuff, and people start saying to you stuff like, oh, you're really down to earth, you guys. You're really real. And then because of that, you start viewing differently.
Yeah.
And then you start looking for those, hang on, that's really contrived. That's not really you. That's a fake thing you're putting on.
Just saying it because you've heard someone else say it, or it follows a pattern, do you find?
Yeah. I've got a question for you there from Hannah. Well, it's a question and a comment, I think. If Helen wants any help setting up her Etsy, she can message me through mine, handmade at 62. I'm no good at digital files, etc., but I've sold on Etsy for years, so I know how to build and maintain a shop.
Oh, bless you. That is so lovely, Hannah. Thank you. Sometimes I just shout my son. Oh, he gets so angry with me. I'm like, Ed. And he's like, bloody hell, tech support again. You know, but I'm okay. It's stupid. I've just always had self-doubt. And then I think, imagine someone, I've opened my shop and someone clicks, yep, I'll have that, print, download, and then they print it out and it's like rubbish, or, you know, it's me. Have you ever watched that program, series of unfortunate events with
Yes.
Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like her. I'm like Meryl Streep in that. I'm like, don't do that, don't do that. That's me, and I've got to stop because you know.
I think, you know, sometimes when I allow those, I call them intrusive thoughts, by the way, because that's what they are. I allow them in, but then I think, no, I know who I am.
Yeah.
At the core, I know my real intentions, what I want to put out there in the world, and I'm doing that. If anybody doesn't like it, doesn't believe it, doesn't appreciate it, hates it even, that's their issue,
That's
not
right.
mine.
Yeah. So
what you think of me is none of my business. I'm my business. How I portray myself, and I think that my belief in myself is really important. Oh, I'm not saying I'm like uber confident, Helen. Far from it. I have my days, trust me. But at the core, I am very confident in myself because I know that what I'm putting out there comes from a place of, I have this and I want to share it with you because I think it'll help.
Yeah. I must admit, the older I've got, I don't. It's not that I say my piece, but I'm happier with myself, and I'm more comfortable in myself. And it's like at work, if anyone said, if there's a Christmas do or anything, they know I'm not going to go. But they used to ask, and I'd go, oh, yeah, that sounds great. Not full well I'm not going to go. I don't want to be with you at all. And I'd go, yeah. And then I'd just hope that they didn't ask again and I wouldn't turn up. But now I say, you know what, don't ask me. I'm not being awful, but it's just not my thing.
It's not you.
I'm happy not going, and I'm able to say that now.
With that particular thing, we've had a very similar evolution. I used to be exactly the same, and I will rarely go to, especially big things, unless I know I'm going to feel completely safe. Sharon T says, Helen, don't doubt yourself. Your art is amazing.
Thank you, Sharon.
And Anna says, hi, Paul and Helen. Love your art, Helen. I think it's amazing.
Thank you so much, you little loves.
Vanessa, Helen, you are very sweet and your self-doubt is very endearing. I think that vulnerability comes across in your art. So your vegan message comes over very gently and without aggression. That's a beautiful comment, that, Vanessa. Thank you.
And I do love to draw. I love it. I can sit there for hours and lose track of the time, and I love it. And yeah, I do.
Is Melody based on anybody, or even is she semi-autobiographically drawn?
Do you know, that's a really good question, because I thought it was from my daughter, just the way she dressed, but it's probably part of me, I think. See, because when I first drew her, if you look back at my Instagram ages ago, I just used to she was going around with her head in a cloud, just singing, minding her own business, almost like she was on the spectrum. Nothing else mattered, just her and a little cat. And I used to draw this little glass jar with one little daisy coming out. And I've got to do more of that. Makes me happy. I don't care if anyone else likes it.
If it makes you happy.
Yeah.
And we've got another compliment. Hello, Angharad.
Hello, Angharad.
Angharad's Life. We love your art.
Little treasure. They've bought some of my art, actually. Yeah, they have. Beautiful.
And that's what we need more people to do. Is to
yes,
if you like Helen's art, please make inquiries about buying some and getting it up on your walls, because she does put a lot of work into it, And art isn't easy. Every minor detail is a major decision. Have to keep things in scale. Have to hold to your vision. Lyrics from a Barbra Streisand song. Well, not a Barbra Streisand song, but, you know. Any more comments or questions, my loves? Whilst we're here, and then
I need to get this shop up and running, Paul, because I can't stand my job anymore. I've whittled it down to 2 days a week, but it's 2 days too many. And that's awful. That sounds awful this day and age, but...
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't, Helen. Right, listen. You cannot negate your own feelings because somebody else might be in a worse situation than you. Because your feelings are your feelings and they're really, really valid. We're going through the same thing. Don't forget, Helen. Jason was working 5 days a week. And last year, it was affecting his mental health so badly.
Oh, it's horrible.
Dropped 1 day. So now he's only doing 4 days a week.
And feels better, does he?
Feels better, but he wishes it were 3.
3? I know, that's me.
Because we would love nothing more than to be able to do our vegan YouTube channel full time. We know that's probably not realistic, but it's still a hope we cling to because it's good to have hope, you know.
I'll tell you what, I'm lucky. We don't spend a lot. We never have. My clothes are from eBay. We're just not big spenders. I know it's lockdown, but we don't go out. But that's us. We're happy that way. And I know that if push came to shove, I could drop my 2 days. But I feel a little bit guilty because it's all on Daz then, you know. But it will come. And I used to love my job. It's what I've always done. But now, I don't know if it's an age thing, but I want time for me now, you know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's your partner said about you dropping work?
He said that I can. He said that I can. And I just keep thinking, all right, I'll wait till spring. I'll wait till the summer holidays. But now my little Annie Grace is having a baby, which will be at the end of August. I need to be stopped by then. Yeah, that's my excuse. and this is it. I'm looking for excuses all the time. Can't bear it.
I haven't worked now for it's almost 2 years. And that I feel dreadful about it, but those 2 years I've put completely into YouTube.
Yeah, and look totally. Look at the skills. Look how you've grown. Look
exactly. But I don't bring other than what we make through YouTube, which is a few hundred a month. I'll be honest, between 3 and 4, and that's everything. That's channel members, everything, including patrons. But that was £50 a month.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Then it grew a little bit. So now I don't feel so bad because I do this mainly.
And you're blooming at it as well.
And it brings in a little bit, which helps to support Jason working. Let me just turn the bloody sound off. Stop disturbing me. I'm doing it. I should have turned the sound off. It's my fault. Any more questions or comments from my lovelies? Someone else saying, go for it, Helen, get that shop up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of, when the world normalizes again, if things haven't drastically kind of changed on YouTube, I will get to the point where I have to find part-time work again for at least a couple of days a week, and I'm all right with that. I'm fine with that. I'll be a bit gutted at the time it takes me away from YouTube, but needs must.
Yeah, exactly.
and it's not anything I'm kind of averse to.
Yeah.
It's just that over the last year, I've not wanted to look for any work out there.
Yeah. I mean, in the back of my mind, I've got, stop moaning, Helen. It's 2 days a week. You can do it with your eyes shut. I mean, I even get all school holidays off as well. So I don't know what I'm moaning. It's really bad. But yeah, one day. I've just kids. I've had enough.
When might we see your Etsy shop, do you think?
Well, I've just had like half term off, and I work Thursday, Fridays. So tomorrow is my last day. I'm nearly there.
Brilliant.
It might be up and running tomorrow.
Oh, well, that'd be amazing. Don't forget to share the link in that vegan group. And, of course, on your own page, HHArtDesign, which hopefully everyone in the chat has now liked. Because, you know why? It'd be rude not to.
Be rude not to, it. Fab.
Right, well, Helen, I think we've answered everybody's questions. There's another comment there from Angela. Your art is amazing. Best of luck with Etsy. I know you will do well. So, you know,
so positive, isn't it?
And that's one thing for sure. We are a part of this community that we haven't built. It's built up around us all. We're all connected, and every one of these people loves your art and believes in you. You've got to take something extremely positive from that.
It's brilliant. I just look at some stuff and I just think, oh, you've just gone on a site and wrote something like "Go Vegan" or something. And you're selling hundreds. And I put, oh, it gets you a bit, doesn't it? And I shouldn't be like that, but I think.
But they and whereas when I see things like that, I'm like, you've done that and you're making money from it. People are buying off you. Good on you.
Yeah. That's the other way.
Maybe I should do the same. Maybe I should do the same is my next thought. Like,
Yeah. Brilliant.
So, right, Helen, we shall we've been chatting for almost 50 minutes. I know. I like to keep these between 30 minutes and an hour, because then we're more likely to get people to watch them afterwards. The plebeian says, so lovely to meet Helen.
And
lovely
you.
To put a voice to the name. Good luck in all of your adventures.
When my mum rings me, because I was born up north, but I've been down here like nigh on 30 years. And my mum will ring me and I speak. She goes, you do sound southern now, Helen. Well, I don't think I do, but she must think I do.
It's better than sounding pure bloody Oldham like I do sometimes. We were at the allotment the other day and I came out with this sentence to Jason. I sounded like an extra on like some really northern series. I just said to Jason, God, aren't I Oldham? And he said, yeah, terribly sometimes.
Funny.
You've got to embrace it. You've got to embrace these things. Right, Helen, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this today. I'm so glad you've done this, and I look forward to seeing much more of your wonderful art on t-shirts and tote bags and coasters and whatever the bloody hell you can slap melody.
Right. Okay, I'm on it.
Folks, do support Helen in her endeavours. She puts a lot of work in and deserves some good coming back from that.
Thank you, Paul. How do I get out? Can you chuck me off?
I'm going to end the broadcast first, and then we'll say goodbye privately.
Okay.
All right. So, bye to everyone who's watched.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you. Thank you, and goodbye.